flattens himself kind of back against the wall again and goes, okay.
Don't worry, everyone. I just turned the sound on for the stream.
Wait, could no one hear us?
It's been off the whole time.
Oh my god.
Thank you for pointing that out, chat. Surprisingly, 10 people have still watched. There we go.
Oh my god.
All right, we're gonna have to go back.
We're killing it tonight.
We're gonna go do everything we just did in a few seconds. Ready, go? I poke the chimera with a stick. It rolls. No, it doesn't.
I go look in the hut. There's a bloody tiefling in there.
Oh, it's a
We're
bloody
interrogating
tiefling.
him. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so sorry.
Tiefling, give us information. No. All right, and here we are.
Here we are.
Oh gosh.
Wow, did it really take us that long to do all of that?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's good. Does Stream want the last episode summary again? Since it has been a hot second since
You might as well give it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Give some context.
Wow.
Scrolling back up.
Oh, I know, I've forgotten it totally already.
Thanks, Casey. I appreciate your support in this matter.
Who's Casey?
Private kills for sport.
The kills for Spar.
All right.
All right, so to bring everybody up to speed with what has been going on here, both on previous episodes and everything that just happened. So previously, as darkness had fallen over the city of Ingerna, a group of 4 travelers found themselves drawn into a web of strange magic, mysterious prophecies, and the whispers of the long dead. Deep below the city, they discovered a blood ritual in progress, centered around an obsidian pillar 100 feet tall, emblazoned with a prophecy that only they could see, which read, 4 chosen, 4 fated, the guardians of Shara's city remade, the saviors of Kainalora reborn. Star and Ocean, Elixir and Weave, Threshold Keepers, both lock and key, open the doors and let the souls fly free. Slowly, they have pieced together parts of the story, revealing a cult devoted to a goddess of knowledge, apparently devoted to summoning an aspect of the goddess herself, even as their magic tore open a rift between the material plane and the Shadowfell.
I hate it when that happens.
An unstable ritual apparently only stabilized by drops of their blood.
Not
The
urine.
ghost of Lorelei, a long-dead cleric of Istis, revealing that they had been chosen by the gods to rectify her companion's mistakes and save the city that they had failed. In a bid to appease some concerns of the city leaders, they volunteered to chase down one of the missing members of the cult, a purple tiefling, who is in this room, who they are talking to. And they tracked him to a hut just inside the borders of the Orenthan forest, and then they fought a chimera that he summoned using a blood magic ritual, the remnants of which are on the floor of the hut. Now they are threatening him. Go.
I'm gonna sit down next to him.
Okay.
So, perhaps you be more forthcoming with all that information.
Look, you know what? Actually, you know what? Fuck this. And he kind of reaches down into a pocket and pulls out a kind of wrapped up bundle that's just like kind of all tied up. He just holds it out and he says, "Look, I was supposed to go and meet the leader with this and give it to him. And you know what? Fuck this. I just want to go home. Please take this and leave me alone. And your big friend who kills people for sport. Really don't want to meet him specifically."
Understood.
Who's your leader?
And where are you gonna meet him?
His name is Moron. I was supposed to meet him in Drathos. There's a note in there that explains everything.
We should search him to see if he has anything that he's gonna give the leader.
We met that asshole.
And we have a source that says you have an associate woman, and I would like to know about this woman.
So scandalous.
Did say it got hot at night.
Her name is Kay.
Oh, I mean, I'm not really sure where Kay went. We split. She went a different direction than I did.
Do you know where she was intending to go?
Are you still together though?
I don't know. Things have been a little bit rough recently.
Like, are we supposed to like arrest him and bring him back to the town?
I don't think I could hurt. I think that responsibility and fulfilling responsibility above and beyond is always a good idea.
I do
Right.
not sign up for any kind of responsibility.
But we have it, and we have to use it correctly. Now.
By the responsibility invested in me by the city of Ingerna, I place you at rest.
Single
Okay.
gunshot.
You can either come back with us peacefully to be arrested and probably rot in jail for the rest of your life, or you can struggle and it'll hurt more.
Or you can come back in pieces. Brackets fully. Because we'll
In the-
kill you.
In the meantime, while they're harassing him, I want to look in the pouch.
All right. So, pulling open the pouch, you do find you find two things. One of them is just a slip of paper that looks like it had been hastily kind of scribbled on, and glancing over it, it's a very short note. It is, in fact, signed Moron, and it directs Requiem to meet him at the Scalded Sprite in Drathos. And then the other thing underneath that slip of paper is a large leather-bound journal.
I start to read it.
A journal.
Roll me.
I'm in.
Are you flipping through it, or are you like sitting down to like read it?
We can harass him for as long as you need.
Yeah, I think if like they're just like I've just kind of ducked into like or like just gone into a corner and just start reading them while they're continuing to negotiate or whatnot. So yeah, I'd like to read if I could.
All right. So working through it is a substantial notebook, and it seems to be quite well filled. One of the first things you notice is that the first like 6 or 7 pages of it are devoted to what looks like a sort of set of arcane blueprints. And looking them over, they do appear to be they seem like they're probably arcane blueprints of the column that you saw below the city. And this is just like, you're not like trying to interpret them necessarily yet, but just like glancing over them, you recognize it's the pillar beneath the city was a very unique shape. It had like this very unique kind of like almost like living twisted root-like shape to it. You kind of recognize it from some of the sketches. And then you see that after that, written in a different hand, is what seems to be a series of notes, mostly regarding rituals. And so why don't you go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
That would be a 9.
Okay. So just kind of like flipping through and reading over it, a lot of it, again, your magic doesn't necessarily come from scholarly study, whereas whoever wrote this, clearly their magic is very much rooted in academia, and so a lot of it you find just kind of going over your head. And so by the time you kind of get to the end of it, you're certain that the first part of it is instructions for how to create and build the column itself. The second part of it, which again was written in a different hand and is much more substantial, it takes up most of the book, seems to be specifically notes regarding the ritual that activated it. You kind of picked up that it's blood magic of some kind. Some of the asides made it clear to you that Morin seemed very confident that his blood would be sufficient for the ritual. And that he considered the other kind of cult members to be, and he actually referred to them at one point as insurance. But aside from that, a lot of it's very dense academic language. You find yourself just like you find yourself reading the same page like 3 or 4 times and being like, I wish you would stop talking like you would swallow a thesaurus and just say what you actually mean. And so that's kind of all you can really get from it. Although flipping all the way to the back, you do find folded up what seems to be a folded up kind of dog-eared flyer from the Dervia, which you recognize as being one of probably Vakrith's preeminent school of illusion magic, which is based in Drathos. And so it looks like it's literally like a flyer advertising the school. So it's like you can see like there's like big sections. There's like state-of-the-art labs, most complete library on the continent, comfortable on-campus housing. But there is a map of the campus on the back, and you can see that in purple ink somebody has circled a building that is labeled as Zavis Hall.
Can you spell both of those?
I can,
the college
in fact.
and the other thing.
And what city was that a map of?
It is not a map of the full city. It is a map of the campus of the Dervia.
The campus. Okay.
Cool.
But you all are aware that Tiradas, which is the neighboring country to where you are right now, it's in kind of the western portion of the Niminar Mountains. It's mostly Dragonborn, and they are very well known for their magic. The kind of like the finest schools are all based in the kind of 3 main Tyranian cities. Drathos being one of them.
Don't do magic a different way. I'm more like intuitive. This is ridiculous. Anyway, so I close the book and I look up to see what's happening with this conversation.
Yeah, so provided that none of you do anything that's going to interrupt all of this, the rest of you, Penthea spends about 20 minutes kind of flipping through this book. And so what are the rest of you up to?
We are bothering this guy to the extent that there is no information he cannot give.
Okay, I mean, what do you ask and give about?
I want to know how to do the ritual.
Grilling him.
I will say that by the end of 20 minutes, what you have gotten is you've gotten the dude's life story as far as the cult was concerned. He was working as a waiter at kind of a local restaurant. He saw flyers for Pinion. It was advertising itself as kind of like a place for people to gather, like-minded people looking for like kind of after pursuit of knowledge. He went to a couple of meetings. Everybody seemed really nice. Started spending more time with them.
That's how they get you.
And eventually, he explains that mostly the leader, at least who he thought was the leader, was a kind of older woman named Adelaide, who seemed like kind of a very like genuinely devout, devoted to this goddess. And you saw enough down in the tower as well to know that it was a cult that was devoted to the goddess Mistra, who's the current goddess of knowledge. And she seemed devout. She had a certain measure of divine power. It all seemed like kind of legit and above board. And then within the last couple of weeks, somebody else showed up, and some of the things that they had been doing, just as like kind of disparate pieces, where it was the sort of thing where people were off to working on different projects, and suddenly this guy shows up, and all of those pieces are being brought together into the tower. They're being put together in ways that seemed unexpected to a lot of people, including Adelaide. He was Morin, when he came, was the one who first started introducing the idea that this was going to be powered by blood magic, but he said that it was just because it was the way to like harness power that they wouldn't have access to otherwise, and it was totally safe. And then it ended up, of course, not being.
Did you lose anybody close to you?
He kind of shows, hey, Kay got out of it fine, so.
Anyone far away from you?
Well, I mean, Adelaide seems super dead.
Roy,
Did you get the impression that there was any kind of animosity between Moran and Adelaide?
I mean, she didn't seem real happy about the whole blood magic thing.
Anything maybe suggested they had known each other before?
I don't know. I didn't really get the whole story behind him.
but you're going to go give him a message now. Well, you were until we apprehended you.
Yeah, I mean, guy's got a foul bit of power.
Like, how much are we talking? Like, is it blood-based power? Like, should we try to hit him concussively?
No, I mean,
Can we?
the dude, I don't know, can you?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Hey,
Certainly.
we can.
We can.
I mean, it's more of that, guy offered me like 200 gold to bring this shit to him.
Well, since you're not going to do it, then do we get the 200 gold?
I don't know, he hasn't given it to me.
Alright, we should ask about that. Write that down. Gold makes... If you've ever been near like a nice flat lake, you can take those little circular gold things and just skim them right across. They bounce like 5 or 6 times. It's great. I haven't had some in a while, but...
So as you guys are kind of talking and Penthea is kind of wrapping up what she's doing, Pax does come up behind you guys, looking a little bit, kind of just like shifting, looking actually quite small. Pax is not, Pax is very slight, but still kind of dressed in these kind of like smoky leathers, has the polished wood owl mask still completely covering his face, kind of drifts up and says, things are a little bit weird.
What do you mean?
right,
What have you done now,
Just-
Pax?
the
You
moon
mean
went
in
away.
here
You won't show
or
your
out
face.
there?
It's just fucking weird.
Let's not break that down right now. I mean, do you mean in here or out there?
Out here.
What out wait, that's two things I said combined.
he kind of points back over his shoulder. Just like, I mean, I'm not really up on here, but yeah, I don't know. There's just something. It's putting my teeth on.
Is
edge.
the sun gone?
The sun
No?
is no. The sun is still out.
Why don't you try and use your words and tell us exactly what it is that you're
I go outside
Okay.
and look around.
Roll me a perception check.
Tobyception. 11.
Okay. You step outside, and for a second you're like, I don't get what is he talking about? And then you sneeze because there's allergies and it's spring.
Sun sneeze.
Pax discovers allergies.
And then you
Sucks to
kind
wear
of
a mask.
you kind of stop for a moment, and then you realize that it's absurdly quiet right now. Just like really, and as soon as you notice it, it's almost distracting. You don't hear birds, you don't hear insects, you can barely hear the wind kind of rustling through the trees. It's very, very almost unnaturally still.
It is super peaceful out here, guys.
Oh, well,
Like,
about time.
unnervingly peaceful. Like,
I'm unnerved.
Penthea,
Yeah.
is this normal? Does this
No,
happen
usually
a
things
lot?
make a lot of noise. I mean, I grew up next to the ocean. I mean, like, it was like constant noise, but it was like very peaceful. This is not peaceful.
well, this is quite peaceful.
Is anything like? Is it
Um,
still like? Are there any bugs, or anything?
Nope.
Is the
Well-
griffin still there, or the
Chimera.
chimera?
Chimera.
Chimera still
The
there?
chimera is still slumped on the ground.
Someone keep an eye on Requiem. I'm gonna look around and see what's going on.
Tofi, we need to kickstart the noise again.
I don't have my bagpipes with me. I could perhaps pretend I had them with me.
That'll work.
All right. What is the noise kickstarting song?
You know.
I will hop around and air a bagpipe.
Okay. Behind you in the building, Requiem has kind of like stood up and walked out. And where are the rest of you in this clearing? What are you guys up to exactly?
Well, I told someone to watch Requiem. I said, someone watch Requiem, and then I'm going to fly around.
We thought you'd
Okay.
do that.
I heard you doing that, and then it sounded more fun to pretend I was playing the bagpipes.
I would still be in there because I am probably wrapping up. Like I'm still probably like towards the end of looking at the book. Like I've probably gotten to the map part, right? Like
Yeah.
Edom is trusting that someone will do what he's asked because he is used to that happening. When he asks a question, people typically do it. So he doesn't know anything else, and he's gonna say it. He's gonna fly around.
All right.
see.
And so what are you doing? What is your intention as you fly?
I am trying to see if I can see. But my real intention is to fly up and see if I can see anyone in the city. But I don't know how far away we are from the city.
You guys, you walked like a good half hour, 45 minutes out of the city.
Okay. I'm looking to see if I can sense any creatures nearby, as in like any kind of like indication of one standing still, or like
Roll me.
anything like that.
I guess this would be an investigation check.
Okay. I'm trying to look very thoroughly. It may not reflect in the roll, but okay.
Pretty
A
good.
20.
You kind of fly up, breaking kind of the tree line, and looking around. You can see that you kind of like look out, just like trying to like get a look out over the city. You can see it in the distance, just fine. Okay, standing against the horizon, looking very city-like. And then like you kind of like look out and you're like, okay, this didn't tell me as much as I was hoping it was going to. But then you happen to glance down and you realize that there is like, and you're a little bit like, it's not like it's a gale force wind or anything, but there's definitely like some wind blowing, there's some breeze, and you happen to glance down and you realize that the trees you kind of like, you can see out and you can see like stretching out to the west of you, as well as like the Orenthan forest is a huge kind of untamed swath of forest all down kind of the center of the continent, and you can see it just like spreading out, just like this wave of green all the way out to the horizon. And the treetops are kind of slowly like moving and kind of rustling with the wind, and you look directly down, and directly below you, the trees in this area are completely still.
When I'm looking out and seeing this, do I remember if this is the forest that we saw in that letter from this mother and the son that eats people? Yes. You're relatively new to the material plane, but from that letter, and also from just like kind of a casual conversation with Ulrich as well, you're aware that the Orenthan forest is somewhat of it's an interesting beast, as they say. It is very, very old. It has old ties to the Feywild, and it can be inhospitable to people who it decides it doesn't like. I'll fly back down and I'll say that immediately. And I'll say, these trees don't like you guys.
I don't think that's true.
Well, I know it's true.
Well, how do you know?
Because the ones down there are moving and these aren't. And that means that they are unhappy. Because
Or
when trees have
maybe
to change
they're
what they're doing, because they have
listening.
something irritating them in the forest, they're unhappy. And maybe they like you, Tofi, but these other guys, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I've never met a forest that was unhappy with me.
One other thing that you do notice as well, Edom, as you flutter back down, you kind of come down close enough to the Chimera to notice that there seem to be vines growing up and over it. fast enough that you can see them kind of slithering.
I've just realized my desire to take a short rest.
Your desire has been noted.
Panthea,
Yeah?
remember that journal you found in the tower?
Yeah?
We were in a
The one
tower.
with Martin and John?
Yes? The
And
one where he talked about his lovely hair?
Oh, yeah.
yes, and then I think it was John. His mom was a ranger, and there was a forest, and she mentioned a forest that ate people.
Oh, yeah. Travels warns about going too deep. Don't get cocky,
Yeah,
she said.
apparently 30 minutes in is too deep.
Oh, maybe. And I look over at Requiem, and I'm like, did you piss it off?
I mean, I didn't sound like I exactly wanted to come here. I didn't have a lot of options. I was just trying to get away. But I mean, the
Conjuring
forest, the forest doesn't like people who aren't, like it picks its people, right?
I mean,
That
maybe we should
sounds-
just put him over in the forest, and if the forest wants him, they can have him.
Please
And then
don't
the
feed me
forest
to the
will be
forest.
happy again.
You summoned something it didn't want in it. You probably made it very mad.
That wasn't very cash money of you.
Oy.
I think we should just leave. And with that, he kind of steps down from the porch outside, kind of down onto the grass of this kind of forest floor itself, and suddenly vines spring up around from the ground, kind of exploding upwards and wrapping around him. And Drox, you look down and you realize that the same thing is happening to you as these
forest.
vines kind of just explode outwards. They have, you could just see them, they're this very lush green, they're just covered in you could see these kind of blood red flowers kind of unfurling from them as they spring up and wrap around you. I'd like you to make me a strength saving throw.
I'm a friend of the trees.
Okay.
That's a strength check.
Ah.
Doesn't count on.
Okay.
Wait, which one? Doesn't matter. Either way, it
It doesn't matter.
Either way, it's irrelevant.
So these vines spring up, wrapping around, and completely just like wrapping around you and immobilizing you. And you can see the same thing happening to Requiem, who kind of struggles weakly, but the ritual that he did kind of took it out of him pretty substantially. The rest of you kind of like, you see this happening, but movement kind of attracts your attention off kind of deeper into the forest. And you hear through this quiet suddenly just this kind of deep hum from the forest, like almost like bees buzzing, but this kind of very much more intense, much deeper sound. And turning, you see a shape begin to emerge from the forest. Slowly, this kind of humanoid shape unfolds itself from the undergrowth. You catch sight of like kind of pale green skin, very long brown hair, tall and almost unsettlingly thin. And it picks its way slowly towards you, emerging from the trees. And you see that with every step, this kind of riot of wildflowers springs up. This kind of yellow and purple and pink blossoms bursting from the ground, only to just as suddenly kind of wilt and fade into the brittle dryness of late autumn. And each time it steps, flowers, and then they fade away into these kind of brittle brown leaves. As it comes out of the forest towards you, and has these kind of very thin, graceful limbs. You can see that it has this kind of vaguely elven face, only in that it's kind of very fine-boned and thin, kind of pointed ears, but it has this almost like flat, like doe-like nose that flares to pale pink at the tip. And it looks all of you over with these kind of fathomless, flat, gray, green-black eyes.
Free me from your plants, tree goblin.
It slowly turns towards you and takes another few steps forward. And you can see it's tall as well, probably close to like 7 or 8 feet tall.
strange kind of like elongated limbs. It's not its body fairly featureless but almost textured like bark. And it takes another few steps forward, and then stands with its feet kind of surrounded again by these dry brittle leaves. And as it stands still, you can see again flowers kind of poking out from underneath those leaves and then fading again. And it looks all of you over and it says, "You have brought unpleasantness and fire and death to my grove. I will take that one." And it does it. It's staring directly at Drox, but it gestures over at Requiem.
Wait, so you want him or him?
I want the interlopers. And Drox, you feel the vines tighten around you.
What?
Wait, have you been interloping?
Not any interloping. Get lost in my accent. Okay, one moment.
Hasn't been interloping, aside from his voice.
I suggest you release me, or... Sophie, can you jump an entire forest into the sky?
Wait, I have this handled. And
Alright.
Enum is going to come and fly over in front of the creature. And he's going to stand there, his hands on his hips, eye level with them, but he's flying, 1 foot tall. Politely say, "I'm terribly sorry that we've caused you trouble. We will be leaving shortly. We had to remove the original interloper, which is that one," and I'll point at Requiem, and I'll say, "We're taking him back to the authorities because he's been causing a lot of problems for not just you, but everyone else involved and everyone nearby in that city, and we are leaving post-haste. I'm terribly sorry about disturbing you."
A persuasion check.
Okay. 18.
18. The creature kind of cocks its head towards you and it says, "I punish the interlopers myself. Your notions of justice don't interest me, but it is only that one that I want, the one that brought fire and blood into my grove. I will allow you to take the other one." And with a gesture, the vines around Drox fall away.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to be leaving right now. Immediately.
Requiem starts struggling kind of weakly in the vines. It's wait, and you can see the vines just kind of tighten as the creature kind of turns slowly, and he stops talking, and then the creature kind of goes like this, and you see the vines kind of like begin to just like tighten, and then you see Requiem kind of fall and kind of like start struggling weakly, but the vines just kind of almost like snakes start snaking back towards this creature, dragging Requiem along with them.
Okay, everyone, you don't want to see what's going to happen? We should leave immediately.
I feel kind of bad.
This is just what happens when you make creatures of the wild angry.
I make creatures of the wild angry all the time, and this has never happened to me.
Creatures of the wild. I lived on boats made of this woman's children. I'm not afraid of no wild, except when there's vines. I don't like vines.
I mean, he could be
pretty
right
weird.
for a fresh start now that he has his comeuppance.
You can see that the creature is beginning to walk backwards, kind of away from you. Requiem is still being dragged along. You can see he has managed to work out one arm and is kind of like gripping and kind of dragging at the loom. And he's like, "Yes, I want a fresh start. I want," trying to wriggle away, and the creature is still just relentlessly moving backwards, and the vines continue to pull.
As well versed in nature's judgment as you, and I have passed judgment that he needs a fresh start. I'm gonna cast Entangle on him.
Okay. He isn't currently strong enough and restrained, and you are in fact able to grip him, but you do see the creature stops moving and turns back towards all of you and says,
"Somebody heal me, for I fear that I'm at 4 points of health."
You interrupt my renderment of judgment.
Wait, I'm rendering judgment as well. I am also from the forest. I thought
This
this
is
was
not
how
your
it
place,
works.
Satyr. This is mine.
I've been
Well,
here
that's just awfully greedy.
for a little bit. I thought the forests were nobody's places, sort of like a timeshare thing.
Well, there are kingdoms and jurisdictions, and they're there for a reason. And we don't have jurisdiction over this spot. Tofi,
I have vines, she has vines. Seems like mutual jurisdiction. I say both of us vote, and we'll see what happens.
Satyr, this is not a democracy.
All right.
Well, is this a cadaverous?
Cadavers?
Well, if it's not a democracy, then what quite is it?
Is it like an oligarchy?
This
Oh.
is my grove.
Well, did you inherit the grove? Did you create the grove?
I am the
Did you
grove,
merely
and the grove
claim
is
the
me.
grove?
Right.
So you are the grove.
There is no difference.
Well, there's a slight difference.
You see vines beginning to rise up, not just around the creature, although it does flare out from the creature, but also beginning to come up, kind of not yet crawling all the way up, but you see all of you looking down around your feet. Vines are beginning to grow up and beginning to look like they are questing a little bit towards your ankles.
I suggest you keep them vines away from us.
Why are we trying to fight this big force?
We're not
This
trying
is-
to
this
fight.
is
the
this is
force.
their home.
Right, but we can't just let this guy that we're supposed to bring back die here. He doesn't deserve to die. He's just stupid. If everything that was stupid deserved to die, I'd be dead a long time ago.
Why, this is a fair point.
Is there an exchange to be made?
What will you offer?
You can have the body of that dead chimera.
The body is already mine, will be returned as unnatural as it is to the ground, where it will be used to grow new things, better things.
Right, so deal's done. You're welcome.
This
You're
is not
welcome.
yours to give, Satyr.
Well, yeah, we killed it. It was very much ours.
They're incredibly ours to give.
We bopped it for you.
More destruction would have been wrought against your trees. if it
It's
weren't
true.
for us.
Think of how much more fire there would have been.
You owe us, in actuality.
Yes.
And I have granted you the ability to leave.
No, we need him though. He's very important to a lot of people. The
He's
fate of the world
incredibly
could hang in the balance of what is in his mind.
I am
Fate
not
is a grove.
interested in the world, I am interested in my grove.
Well,
Well,
if
you
the
should be
world
interested in the
dies, then
world.
your grove might also die. You remember when the moon went away? That was probably bad for the grove, right?
We
Right.
stopped. Do you remember when the moon went away last night?
And it kind of cocks its head and it says, "The occurrences of the material plane do not interest me."
But messing with the forces of nature should, correct?
I suppose.
His people, or people he was working with, he's not smart enough to do it on his own. Sorry, Requiem, you're not. Made the moon disappear from the sky. That has ramifications here, and that could bleed into your world as well. We are trying to put an end to it, and his death and disappearance would not help us in that regard right now.
I mean, the shadow world is already like, breaking open like a woodpecker through
Go on.
you.
You can see the creature look briefly very confused and says, "Woodpeckers would not peck at me."
But they would if they were from the shadow world. Imagine if the
All
shadow
that I
woodpecker
hear-
went and then a big thing of shadow. It's not good. That's what happened in the city. It could happen here too.
All that I hear is that this creature deserves double judgment. I will render it.
No, that's not how double judgment works.
All judgment is
What
They
if-
cancel each other out.
Yeah, that's
He
there's no
is-
judgment.
to be determined to die? We bring him back.
You're-
Alternatively, what if we don't? What if
The ways of your civilization and the ways that it renders judgment and justice do not interest me.
I don't
This
understand
creature
either.
has sinned against my grove and against me, and I will render the judgment necessary.
What about some sort of like battle of the minds or something, or
This does not
Tofi,
interest me,
we're
Satyr.
gonna lose.
single combat to the death?
If you insist,
All
I
right.
will have no
We-
problems rendering you back to the earth that
We
burned.
pick you as our champion.
No, let's.
Double combat to the quadruple combat to the death.
If you insist, I will kill you 4 times over.
We are.
Best of 5.
If this creature that you have decided to judge is killed here, there are ramifications that will come back to damage your grove again. And I know how much you hate that, and we are trying to prevent that from happening ever again. So if you let us take him,
How
will be
will this
able-
you say that this creature is weak and stupid, and yet you say that it can continue to damage my grove. I do not see how these things follow.
well, he's part of a larger whole, and if the whole is not dealt with wholly, as a whole should be, the whole can be left to be
I was like, oh.
do whatever it wants. It's still as powerful as it was before.
It's kind of like a holistic solution to your problems.
Yes.
And how does this
I've confused
creature help
myself.
you?
But we need that guy to fix what problems he made in the outside world so that your world is not hurt again. Because the outside world, as much as I hate it, the fact that it does this, I'm sorry, you're terribly intimidating. What I'm saying is that
It is staring at you entirely unblinkingly with just these black eyes.
You are in part of a whole, and if that whole is left to just fall apart, your little world inside that hole will also fall apart. So what we're trying to do is fix the outside so that your inside stays safe and isn't ever hurt again. Does that make sense? Panthea, please help me.
I don't know why we're trying to save him.
Please save me.
I mean,
think leaving judgment to the trees is a bit. It's a slippery slope of.
It is a slippery slope, but we're not going to get out of here if we don't come to an agreement, because this is a Fae, and Fae need to be dealt something fairly.
what if we gave you his lower half?
It turns slowly and it looks at you and it says, I suppose that would be acceptable.
Oh no.
Well, I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier.
And it extends a hand and you see just kind of growing from it, like slowly, this wooden blade that hardens to like this very sheen this sheen edge, and you can see that it looks sharp just looking at it.
This is really better.
And it approaches Requiem.
On second thought,
It's alive.
are we sure that we want the top half?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure that he'll survive the process, though. So
He will not.
Well,
Perhaps.
no. See, that's
Oh,
not part
yeah,
of the
that's
deal.
not a good-
No, we need a living top half.
It kind of like examines you for a moment. It says, Satyr, you seem distinctly and almost disturbingly unaware of how life functions.
No, I'm pretty much there.
I must ask, what is it that you're ultimately trying to get out of your justice? Is it retribution? Is it the other thing that isn't retribution? Rehabilitation? What is the purpose of your judgment?
It looks at you for a moment and says, there has been damage dealt, and I will take this creature and I will return it, and it will bring life back that it took.
Well, don't you think that rather than trading one bad for one good. You could make the bad a good that can make more good, you know?
You all talk around in circles.
No, I don't talk in circles at all. I'm very afraid of circles. I won't go into that.
Your mortal minds flit like butterflies from one thing to the next. Say
I
something of
love
substance or let
butterflies.
me leave.
All right, you can go.
Very
But
well.
he-
And it turns and it begins dragging Requiem back
No,
into the
hey,
forest.
you can't have him. Listen, if you don't leave him to us and let us go, then we're gonna tell everybody how great and wonderful this piece of forest is, and you are never going to see the end of people. We'll have the whole town here, lickety split. You can't kill all of them before they decide to burn you down.
It,
In light of that,
it cocks its head at you a little bit and it just says, "You will find that this forest is more than capable of taking care of itself."
Is there
You-
something you've wanted that you haven't been able to get?
Like a puppy.
I have no need for canines.
Or a purpose other than killing things.
My purpose is not to kill things.
Oh, but you're gonna kill
well, you're
things.
doing terribly at it.
Yeah, you're not gonna get evaluated well.
Things die and they are reborn. This is the way of things.
I see we're at a bit of an impasse.
Well, then is it not the way of things that your grove dies and is reborn?
That's true.
So shouldn't things naturally happen without your judgment?
I mean, fires are a natural part of the world.
Aye, it is true.
Fire comes and goes. Things die and are reborn. There is punishment for those who walk without permission in these woods. Like this one. And it turns back towards you, Jox. Like you. I have
Perhaps there
spared
should be-
you.
Perhaps there should be some signage that explains this
Right.
before going into the woods.
If it's a
Perhaps a-
permissive thing, then, you know,
A
you gotta
terms
at
and
least, you know, make it known. How are we supposed to know we're not supposed to be here until we're here? And you're like, we're not supposed to be here.
I tire of this conversation.
Yeah.
And
I
it
feel-
turns
Feeling weaker by the moment, aren't you?
and
Falling right into our
it Requiem is pulled by the vines deeper into the forest, and the creature turns and begins to
I got
disappear
him
into the
bolter in
woods.
the back of the head.
Oh no!
Let's go.
Okay,
Let's
everybody,
go.
everybody, roll initiative.
Fuck you, fucking tree bitch.
Hold on, I have to find their stat block.
Goddamn trees. They
Yes, I will pick a fight with 7 hit points.
bring about their judgment.
Oh.
Alright, gonna need you two to tank on this one.
Good thing I have the HP
You
to
can't
take.
just drag our friend that we were going to execute away.
Was he a friend though?
He is now.
No, it's just that if we do it wrong or out of order, something bad can happen, and I don't want something bad can happen to happen. Oh gosh.
Are we mapping or are we
We are not. We are.
big money, no whammies? All right, 14 is pretty good. Oh, we have packs. We're fine. I always forget that we have like one more person.
Oh, I rolled a 20.
Nice.
I didn't have my turn, my tracker selected, so it's not real. Shoot, I do that
It
every
is
time.
real.
Every single time.
You just things can be edited.
I don't like Woods telling me how to judge things.
If I have anything appropriate to use as a token, I guess we'll use this for the moment.
You still have the I mean, you don't have to use the map, but where we fought the Chimera,
Oh yeah, you know what I do? Let's do that.
because it's the same space. Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna just clear the Torn Order. Chimera is gone. Tentacles are gone.
I was near the hut, I think.
Hut is on this side of the map.
Okay.
Edom was right next to her.
I was. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all 35 hit points of Edom.
Wait.
Yep.
Didn't Shu use that token as a character at one point?
Probably. We'll just let that be. I don't have an appropriately colored tiefling.
And also, she couldn't have dragged unless she overcame my entangle.
You guys were talking for longer than a moment. For longer than a minute, rather.
Well,
And
then,
the vines are not a spell. Where is the initiative? There it is. Oh, shitty initiative.
So wait, what is the thing? Is that the thing?
Yes. And I need Pax to roll initiative. Somebody want to run Pax?
No, it's too big a convention for me.
Okay.
Nice.
I just sit on those all session.
I can run Pax. Would Pax just follow what we're doing?
Pax has been hanging towards the back. He looks distinctly uncomfortable with everything that is happening, but when you guys start gearing up to attack, he does pull his short sword.
Okay.
I am just gonna make, let's see. I'm just gonna put him in all players' journals.
Okay.
What class is he?
Pax class.
Let's see what he's got. Power word kill true people.
Amazing.
Oh, he's got some stuff.
All right. Edom, you are up first.
I am going to disengage immediately. As I see Tofi's guiding bolt hit this creature in the back, I am out of there. To rethink.
To be fair, Tofi has prepared to cast the spell. She has not actually cast it yet because this creature is shockingly not surprised.
Okay. Is there any indication that Tofi is casting?
Yes, you can see it's you can definitely.
So it's reasonable for me to disengage.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to be doing that.
You are aware that things have gone sour in this situation.
Okay, good. I should hope that he knows that by now. Okay. And that's my action, right? I've never actually disengaged before.
Yes, disengage is your action unless you are a rogue.
I'm going to move 30 feet away.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to end my turn there.
Oh gosh.
All right. Penthea.
I see this happening, still so confused about why, and let's tell you what, I'm gonna hold Eldritch Blast until I see Tofi's attack, because I can see her preparing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna move, and then I'm gonna wait for the Eldritch Blast to go, because I still, I feel like in character I'm a little uncertain of what's going on, but if this goes off, then I would like to use Eldritch Blast once I see Tofi cast it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because I don't think Penthea wouldn't fire first in this. Okay. So that's what she's going to do.
Okie dokie.
Oh.
Tofi.
Blammo! Perfect.
No.
Oh, shoot.
It goes wide entirely. It slams into a tree. The creature casts a very unimpressed look at you.
The forest is connected to you. Oh, I just shot you.
True. She is the grove. She takes the damage. You ruled it already, Dora.
I will.
And then, so that does trigger, or Penthea does. You choose whether that triggers you or not.
Yeah, because that's a 17.
17. A 17. You throw out a hand. What does your Eldritch Blast look like again?
It looks like really, like kind of, it's like very watery, you know, like kind of, but like
it's almost like shedding droplets of magic.
Yeah.
So you throw out a hand. It goes streaking out towards it, and the creature just throws up a hand, and it's like it catches it and just like quenches it in its hand.
Why are we doing this? Ah. Okay.
All right. Tofi, you may continue your turn.
I will. Where is my? I forget how to drive Tofi. All right, my movement speed is 55. So I am going to move 55 feet away from her, which is in whatever direction is least wooded or something. So.
Oh, that just happens. Shit, I did not read that correctly. Well,
Oh no.
The people that I forgot it for, I'm not going to retcon it. Continue.
So I'm another 20 some odd feet off of the map.
Okay.
And I will spend a key point.
Okay.
Let me just see. To take the dodge action, patient defense is a bonus action on my turn.
Okay.
So I am dodging, which consists of me hopping provocatively from foot to foot.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right. Pax. The first thing that I would like you to do for Pax is to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, cool. I will do that for him. That is
Okay.
a 17.
You may continue.
Okay. Pax. Kind of. Okay, this shadow jaunt thing, can he do it on every turn?
Yes, I believe so. But he does have to be in dim light, which is only going to be underneath the trees.
Oh.
We're all going to be under the
If I
trees
remember
soon.
correctly.
All right. I think that he's going to cast Bane on her.
Okay. Is a charisma saving throw correct?
Yes. And does he only have level? Yeah, he only has level 1. Okay. So that would be a spell save of 12.
Yeah, he's not.
Well,
We really pick him, don't we? Actually, he kind of picked us.
he did pick us. He's like a little puppy.
You know, puppies are.
She has advantage, or it has advantage on this.
Oh,
Doesn't need it.
Great.
Hey.
So 21.
Okay. That's not gonna work.
And again, you can just see it just like turns these alien green black eyes, just like focusing on Pax, entirely unmoved.
All right. I think he's gonna. I can't move him, but I think he's gonna try to duck back here. Oh wait a minute. Maybe underneath this tree.
Okay.
Oh wait a minute.
You should have ability to move him. Oh no, you know why you don't? I think it's because I need to pull him back out.
That's okay. I think he's
Can
gonna.
you move him now?
Yes. He's gonna kind of hide underneath that tree.
Okay. Drox.
Oh, both.
Please
spaces
begin by
in-
making me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, fine. There, are you happy, Dora?
I am happy. As you stare into the eye, you can see as you begin to move, this creature turns its alien eyes onto you, and you are struck deep in your soul by the knowledge that you are facing down something ancient and alien and very powerful, and it shakes you to your core. You are considered frightened.
Okie dokie.
No.
I will magic missile it at level 1. Oh, that's not what. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
Hmm.
5 force damage. All right.
Is it 5 or is it more? I can't remember
It's
how
five,
magic missile
It's
works.
5 per missile.
So
5
3
per
times,
missile.
right?
3 times.
Yeah,
So 15. 15.
15. Okie dokie. What do your magic missiles look like?
They're weasels.
So 3 tiny little weasels all thud into this creature, and the creature seems just more or less unfazed by this. Definitely
Ooh,
hit. It definitely did damage,
I'm a big edgy tree. I don't care about damage. Fuck you,
but
tree.
it does not seem particularly hurt. Anything else?
I'm gonna shuffle back
You
here.
cannot go that direction.
Why
If
can I
you
not
can move,
go?
you can move back. You can't move to the side because I think that is moving closer to it.
That is not closer to it,
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
which is what I did.
Okie dokie. It is its turn. It is going to stretch out a hand and it is going to manifest a longbow.
Oh, shoot.
And it is going to, let's see, it's going to take aim at you, Drox, since you just hit it. And it is going to make an attack roll. As you see, it draws it back, and growing from its hand is the arrow. Again, all made of wood, but the tip of it looks plenty sharp and deadly.
Nope, not needed.
Oof, 10. That is a crit failure from her.
So it kills itself, right?
No.
Oh, man.
It is now going to take its second attack. Same thing. Still targeting you. Does a 28 hit you?
Yes. A 28 hits me.
It does 17 points of damage
I am unconscious.
as this arrow thuds into you, sinking deep into the meat of your side. And then with that, it turns and it moves back into the woods, dragging Requiem behind it, and it moves off this map. So the creature and Requiem are both... Oh, come on. Let's see, so that was... They are 30 feet off this map. Eat him.
Okay, that's that. All right, we're going to be going now, and I'm going to fly over to Drax, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him, and then I'm going to try to help him up as best as I can. And I'm going. He's just ready to go. Edom is ready to get out of there. He knows this is going to happen. In his eyes, Requiem is Requiem now. He's living up to his name, and we are leaving. Come on up, come on. Wake up.
All right. Penthea.
Seeing this creature leave and seeing Drox go down, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. There's bigger things to do. than this, and I back up, and we're leaving, and that I think I'm gonna go back to help too over here. Let's go, and that's her turn.
All right, Tofi.
She's gonna bound into action.
I don't think I can actually get there. So you're really just going to let a semi-innocent life be claimed just by being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Well, I am
That's how it works.
ashamed to call all of you people I met a little while ago.
Call us what?
Evil she met a little while ago.
Tofi, you know how this works. This has happened so many times in my lifetime. I'm not even that old, but I've seen this happen over and over again. If you overstep your bounds, there's consequences.
But it's not fair. I don't like riddles.
I have not. The only riddle I heard back there was how confused that I got when I was trying to reason out how to get him out of this wood.
No rules. I don't like rules. I love riddles.
You totally said riddles.
Right. It was a riddle.
That's a riddle.
You figured it
Okay,
out.
then I don't like them either.
No, I do like them.
I like rules.
Do you have a
You like
torch I can
riddles.
borrow?
Tofi.
No,
you're not going down.
don't give him a don't give her the torch.
I'm just having trouble seeing. It's
Tofi.
getting dark here.
We are not strong enough. We've been called to do something, and I show my tattoo, and this isn't it.
Well, it is. They said get this guy and bring him back, and now he's just carting off to nowhere still.
Listen, if we go back, they're gonna believe us that the forest
Are they?
took him away.
Yeah, that sounds really realistic.
I think they would believe it.
We have his notes. We have his.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it either,
Journal.
but sometimes when there's forces bigger than you, that you have to let it go.
It's the way-
I'm going to call this the end of this 6-second round. Tofi, are you doing anything else? No more chit chat until next turn.
Let me see. I could long strider my way over there. How far is Requiem off the map?
30 feet off the map.
And I've moved one movement to get here. I am going to. Where is this? I'm trying to find where all my thing is. I will bonus action wild shape assume the form of chalice. Like
Okay.
Chalice constellation. Oh, but I don't have a. Huh, that doesn't work. And then I guess I will cast Goodberry.
Okay.
Which will gain me 7 hit points.
It will gain you 1 hit point because it takes an action to eat a good berry.
I'm not eating any of them, I'm just casting it. When you cast a spell that restores hit points, this is from the chalice thing. When you cast a spell that restores hit points, you regain 1d8 plus 4. So I get 9 hit points from that.
Is that really how Goodberry works? Is Goodberry restoring hit points when you cast it?
Well, if you eat it, it does.
But that requires an additional action.
It's a spell that restores hit points.
I'm pretty sure we argued about this before, and I feel
Yeah,
like.
we said it doesn't happen every time I eat a berry, but when it
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
we said on the casting of Goodberry, since it is a spell that restores hit points.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
it
fine.
counts. I mean, casting Goodberry in the middle of combat is I'm not pulling a fast one here. I just don't have
That's
Cure Wounds
fair.
prepared, so I can't bonus action star form. And
On
then,
the initial cast, it totally makes sense.
doing that. And that will end my turn, but assume that I fill the 6 seconds with complaining and consternation.
Okay. Pax.
Pax.
Go
Walks
get him,
over.
Pax!
Hey, what's that, Pax? You want to kill it for sport?
I don't.
Pax moved over there.
Drox. You are conscious. You hurt. You have an arrow sticking out of you.
Oh, fucking tree people! That's cadaverous.
Cadaverous, where did you get here?
I be struggling to remember who my voices be. Not cadaverous. The other one, Drox.
Cadaverous teleports from an alternate universe.
I mean,
Well,
we could use Cadaverous right about now.
Drox will at first try to use Enam to pull himself up, realizing this is foolish, and then will instead use Tofi to drag himself up, before realizing this too is foolish.
I pull you up with more force than you desire.
Drox is launched into the sun.
Alright, that's half your movement.
Where did it go?
Away.
Well, I consider that a victory then. We have bested the forest. This is our grove now.
Drox. That's not at all how this works.
Yes, it is Odom.
He laughs out loud at that. This is very serious, though. We need to get out of here.
I
Are
consider
you-
the forest my enemy now.
Drox, are you doing anything else on your turn?
I'm complaining for 6 seconds.
Okay.
I like how
So with
that's
that,
like half of what we've done this round is complaining.
so with that, we will drop out of rounds.
I'm sorry we lost him, but it's the way it
Bullshit.
works.
Well, I don't consider that justice at all.
I mean, neither do I. I think it's very.
I will come
hate
back
how
with an
fickle-
army, and
I
we
hate
will
how-
claim the forest for ourselves.
Why?
I don't think there's any justice in the murder of semi-innocents.
I don't
I-
either, but
Innocent delight.
it's the way it works in this world. This is not
Just
the
because
material
it
plane.
has worked a certain way doesn't mean it will always work a certain way.
It's true. One of these days, gravity's not gonna get me.
That's true.
I just think sometimes the vastness of nature can't necessarily be fought. Like if we were fighting the ocean, we would lose every time, and I feel like that's what this was.
The ocean's not a problem. It's what hides in the ocean.
Like these trees.
Like, not the trees.
But if
Well,
we
you
went
were
down into the
literally
ocean
fighting the trees just then.
and fuck things up down there, it would get back at us.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Well, the ocean wouldn't get back at you. Just like the trees don't get back at you. It's those little thinking little tree gremlin people like that viney fingered wedge that
Very large, viney fingered.
I mean,
we were defeated, and I don't like it. But at the same time, we could have been defeated and really, really defeated and not be here today.
Oh, is that what it is to you? When anytime you lose, you run away with your tail between your legs and you never come back? Well, I'll have you know that I left my tail at home. I don't know what that metaphor means.
I don't know either, but all I know is right now, we failed, and
We
we
didn't
have to-
fail.
I didn't want to fail with my life, too.
We just postponed success.
I mean, we did fail with his life. If we're gonna keep doing all of this together, we need some sort of code or system of values, or at least like a sheet I can reference in these situations. But that doesn't feel good. Y'all just said he can go die. You made the judgment, not her.
I
would
made an
like to
effort
make the
to
point.
try and appeal to two completely different systems of morality and judgment, and I think I did just fine.
Well,
You
you didn't.
didn't-
He's
you
dead.
You
I
didn't
tried
help.
really hard.
I mean,
should try
how do you
adhering to
how do you
mine, or-
decide not to keep trying? I
Because
mean,
it wasn't working.
if it's Drox there, do you keep trying? If it's me there, do you keep trying?
Yes,
Don't answer
because I
that.
formed a bond with you. Requiem was about to bring down the world with other people. Although
But
he's kind of
maybe
weak.
if we helped him, he would have brought up the world.
With other
We didn't
people.
get that chance now, did we?
Right, because we condemned him to death.
Right.
We didn't condemn him to death.
Oh, yes,
His
we did.
He needs to take responsibility for his actions.
By dying?
He
How
might
can you
get
take-
out.
How can you take responsibility for your actions if you get dragged into the trees and stabbed to death?
Right. He was ready to go back to town and make recompenses.
I'll tell you what, Bethia. If taking responsibility for my actions lets me getting dragged into the woods and stabbed to death, I fear I wouldn't take many responsibilities very often.
Well, here's the thing. I want you to know, had it been any one of you, I would have fought tooth and nail.
But why just us? Why not everybody?
He could
Well,
turn
here's
out
the
to be
thing.
your
If
best
I
friend.
knew Requiem better, I would have done it. But honestly, I don't know him. And I did not want to have any of you die for someone like that. That we don't know.
Like what?
We are not bonded to him.
Just because he's a
But you're
tiefling?
bonded to everyone. That's the whole point of the world. You
Here's
can't
the
just
thing.
pick and choose.
We were outpowered. Massively outpowered. Do you not deny that? We were massively outpowered.
I
When
think
I
we
was
had
being-
her.
Tofi, we did not have her.
She retreated.
She was fleeing with her life.
If she was that vengeful and wrathful and we attacked her and she
We
wasn't
made-
afraid of us, why would she have run? She would have enacted vengeance upon all of us.
She could have done it like that. And we're not worth her time.
Hmm.
But he is. He's just a
I
little
know, it's
guy
weird.
with a circle. What was that accent?
That was
Circle.
Maybe you're just like
Was-
a
he
ventriloquist.
was-
Maybe that's
he
your
was
good.
part of a group that was trying to rip holes, and he's not an innocent in this.
I mean, he is. Did you listen to his story? He told it to all of us. Like the whole thing.
And he told it under threat of death, so
Yeah.
it's 50% likely to be true.
It's mostly true.
All right, can we
He
move
said
on?
it was a good thing. He was good, and then they twisted it and made it evil.
I can't see anyone using blood magic and being like, "Oh, this seems really great."
I mean,
I
you use
fear-
tentacle magic.
I feel like blood magic gets, a bit of a bad rap because it's
does.
called blood magic.
We all have
But-
blood.
We all have blood, exactly. We all bleed blood. What's wrong with using a little bit of it to
Right.
create magic? What's the difference between blood and magical space juice?
All I know is whenever my moms were asked to create a charm or whatnot that used blood, it was usually to create vengeance, and it didn't feel great.
Well, perhaps that's just because of the, people you've been hanging out with. How do you know
My
blood?
moms are
blood-
amazing. Don't you sully them.
I'm not sullying your mother's. I'm sort of sullying your mother's, but you should take it well anyway. It makes it easier.
Why should I take it well? That's ridiculous.
Because it makes my argument easier to agree with.
I
It
know.
makes me feel bad.
Uh,
Okay.
So as you guys are having this argument, you do slowly you hear birds start chirping in the trees again. You can start hearing this kind of susurrus of the wind blowing the leaves. You can hear cicadas doing their little screaming thing in the trees. So this grove has kind of come back alive. It is no longer still and unnaturally quiet.
That means that Requiem is no longer alive.
You don't really know what it means. What would you guys like to do?
Tofi will pout
flip
and
off the trees.
slowly walk with no exuberance in whatever direction 8 is.
I would like to, before we go, share the book with Drox. I had to look to make sure that was right. All of a sudden, and kind of explain what I saw in there, and not like quietly like other people, but pointedly to Drox because of his higher learning.
Intelligence, charisma.
Yes, intelligence, not charisma, not charisma.
He's got it all.
All right. Yep. So, Drox, it's a kind of book that, like, even just with a cursory glance, you can see seems to have a fair amount of arcane-related notes.
Here, I'm gonna click this, and you can tell me anything I need to know.
25.
You can eat 3 good berries while you're doing this.
I will eat all 3.
So flipping through, in addition to what Penthea found, and just to reiterate, so the first part of it is, in fact, you're confident this is an arcane blueprint of the column. Looking across it, you can see exactly that it was grown from the ground. There's a lot of magic related to, like, you know, like kind of conjuration and transmutation, and that these things were kind of like grown out of the ground and then transformed to the things that they needed to be in order to conduct magic. Flipping through the notes, you find you could kind of come to a couple of conclusions. Although first, are you guys like sitting, because this is going to take like a good half hour, 45 minutes to really study. So are you doing this in the forest?
I would like to leave the forest before we do this.
We're walking in 8's direction.
Yes, Edom is following next to Tofi in a leaderly kind of way, as in like he wants to show her that he's there for her, and also wants to go in that direction, but he's not sure what direction that is.
Tofi is sure that it leads the direction that we need to go.
Okay.
So it was the direction she faced when she was...
I like how we're basically playing chicken with the campaign. Like, we're walking this direction, Tora, so you either make the campaign here or we keep walking.
Oh no!
I mean, are you guys literally just walking in a random direction?
We're walking.
No, I want to walk back towards the town.
Okay.
Walking.
I was gonna go not to the town, but to the other place. The other, like the place that this guy's stuff was.
Oh,
But I don't
guess
know where
like
that is, so...
Well,
that's true though.
Are you
Like,
going to the hut?
No.
There,
He was
wasn't
supposed to
there-
go deliver a thing to a place. That's the place I want to go. So I just
Okay,
let my
that's
feet take me
Drathos.
there.
Strathos is
Okay.
where we're going.
But wait
Okay.
a minute though. At timeout. Like we were
Time
supposed to
out?
report. We were
Cookie,
supposed to
first charge
report.
time out of the session.
We were supposed to report back to the town, correct? So instead of
remember.
reporting back that we found information and that this guy was taken away by the forest, we're just gonna leave and go to Drathos.
Just to be clear, the town is in between you and Drathos.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Well
Just
then,
like we planned.
sorry.
You
I
are-
felt like they were in separate directions. Okay.
You are currently... There's a giant Penthea on this map.
Yeah.
You are probably currently, like
Oh, in Girna, and we're in the
like
forest.
here, and
I
you
can't-
need to go
Oh, okay.
there.
Excellent.
And where's the town? There? Or where?
It's
Right
Oh, yeah.
here,
yes,
or actually on the other
right
side
next
of
to
the
the
river.
dot.
Yeah.
And-
This is in Garna.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, but it still stands. Are we heading to the town, or are we just heading straight to Drathos?
We can go in that direction.
well,
We gotta go
both.
through the town anyway.
Alright, so heading back out of the forest, again, there was a hunting path that you guys, or like a kind of path that you followed to get here, so it isn't too hard to make your way back out of the forest if you're not walking in a random direction, in which case other things will happen. But you make your way out of the forest, kind of coming back out onto the main road, and making your way back towards town. It's like you good like 30-45 minutes out. And so Drox, as you kind of like peruse this journal as you walk, you come to a couple of conclusions. The first being that ritual, the one that was actually used to activate the column, it seems to be based in a kind of ancient divine magic that you recognize as being from a time almost even before the ancient kingdoms. It combines runic magic with blood magic, which is a combination that allows for kind of extremely specific and fine-tuned spell work that doesn't necessarily have to be fueled by a powerful spellcaster. So, like blood magic, it is drawing on different kinds of magic in order to get around needing a single, very, very powerful spellcaster. But you also kind of glean that due to the divine origin of the runes, the kind of blood that is used in this kind of magic is important. And again, more in kind of notes, kind of on the sidebars of this journal, that he seems to be under the impression that as one of the chosen, his blood would be sufficient, and the other cult members were kind of insurance. And then you can also see that there are suggestions. It seems to be kind of his own notes, as if he was trying to improve the ritual itself. And it seemed to be specifically regarding strengthening certain parts of it to allow kind of more precision in drawing what he referred to as the target from the Shadowfell to the material plane.
The target.
Well, it looks to be dragging some sort of specific person and or thing from the Shadowfell to here. It's probably not a good thing.
Was it Pax?
Probably not.
Pax? You know
I don't think I'm that important.
As nice as Pax
Aw,
is,
don't think
he's not that important.
you should think more highly of yourself.
Pax, when are you gonna show us what's under that owl?
I like my mask.
So do we, but we want to know what's under the owl.
He kind of like uncomfortably like shifts the mask more securely on his face.
What? I don't mean
I'm
to
still figuring
pressure
out-
you.
If or when you're ready to show us, if you ever get to that point with us.
Pax, many are comfortable in their comfort zones. And when we say that, when you're ready, what that really means is never again. Never ever. So, when we're ready, you should show us what's under the mask.
I don't understand why this is so important to you.
Okay, well, if I were walking around with a giant golden chest, and I held it in both hands, and at all times I had it on me, wouldn't you wonder what was in the chest?
I mean, I suppose I'd be curious, but if you seemed
And
very
wouldn't
set
you-
against opening the chest, then as your friend, I would respect that, and I wouldn't ask you to open the chest.
Right, but what if there were... what's something wild in a chest? What if there were a lion-eating sausage dog in the chest? And I were keeping that from you all this time.
I think I'd be able to hear it through the chest.
It's a very quiet lion-eating sausage dog. It makes no noise.
Is it really that important?
It's at least slightly important.
You see him kind of deflate, and he just goes, "Are you going to make me leave if I don't?"
I'm only going to make you leave if you try and kill me for sport. Other than that, probably not.
Then I don't want to.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep bothering you about it at random, inopportune times. Carry on, Pax. You keep your secrets.
And with that, you guys find yourselves coming back to the outskirts of Ingarna. Up ahead of you, you see the town garrison. And there's still kind of people moving around in there. What would you guys like to do?
Well, we had information, but we don't have what they asked us to get, because we reached an impasse, so we could say that. I feel terrible about leaving and not saying anything, though. Especially because we're under investigation. Do you all remember that?
Yes.
Oh no. It's been a long day.
Just a month worth of days.
Requiem, right? Morin's right-hand person was down there. Members of the cult. We were supposed to. Who were we supposed to bring the Requiem to?
Ulrich was the one who.
Ulrich.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to have this conversation in the middle of town, so in a corner or whatnot. But I think we could benefit from keeping this book. I don't necessarily want to give it up.
But isn't that what they asked us to do?
I don't think they knew that this book was on them.
But they asked for the person, which I'm assuming includes all the things they had on them, right?
I don't know.
I feel like it's the right thing to do, but I could be wrong.
I feel like this will help us when we try to confront Moran later on. They're not the ones going to be doing it. We are.
That's true.
You could always just
curious.
not mention it. They can't
That's
ask for the thing that they don't know exists. Sometimes after I've stolen a lot of fruit from the farmers, I eat it. I don't know where I was going with that.
Fruit.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't need to say that we found a book. We could say that we found the note. The note is absolutely, and that he was going to meet Moran, but this with the Chimera, and the forest took him away. That's all the truth. We just don't mention the book.
Okay. I feel weird about that, but maybe that's a good idea.
I'd rather have more tools than not.
Okay. Keep the book a secret, but know that I'm going to be a terrible person at keeping a secret from authorities, so someone else will have to do the talking, because I will just keep talking until I feel like I've said everything I need to say, and that will inevitably include the book. So
Okay.
Tofi, you do the talking.
All right. So I'm not supposed to mention the book.
Sophie, please don't mention. Please don't mention.
Drox, can you do the talking? Or Pinthea?
I can do the talking. I am something of a charismatic soul.
Okay. Just as we don't end up making enemies of this particular system of justice either, because I'd rather not be enemies of both the forest and of the state. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, tell them about it.
So no book,
No
no
book.
anarchy, and we're good. Okay?
What am I supposed to do?
You can just sit there and look
Trustworthy.
Thank you, Pax. That's the word I was looking for.
You're welcome.
Which I'm sure you're very good at doing. I haven't seen you do it yet, but I know that you're good at that kind of thing.
It?
You look a little unsure. Raise your eyebrows to the same level and smile. No, stop doing that. Neutral.
kind of hurts my eyes.
Okay. Just make the face that you normally make, your resting face, and keep it there. Keep it there. We'll go talk, and you don't say anything. Neither you or I will say anything, okay? Because we'll just get confused.
Yeah, we
All
won't
right.
talk about the book.
Drox, you have everything you need to know, right? You don't need anything else from us before we go in.
Well, I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to start talking, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I hope that fills you with confidence.
It does not. I was actually about to say that it does not fill me with confidence. It does not inspire me to have confidence in any way. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to trust that it will.
You poor soul.
All right. So as you guys turn towards the barracks, we will take a break.
Take a bark.
So we
Requiem.
will
A requiem plays for Requiem.
rest in pieces, Requiem.
Gosh.
He's still alive.
It's
I
gonna
hope
be
so.
a tree now. A dryad will come and attack us at some point.
You did not prevent.
The Revenant Dryad.
He's actually like, it's kind of a better life. I don't have to
I think
bloodlust.
actually
like
I'm happier as a tree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will be back in 5.
The problem.
Are you sure we're ready?
So sure.
Good, because I already started.
I'm aware. I can also see the stream. All right, so you guys have come to the outskirts of town. You can see in front of you the barracks are still bustling with activity. What would you like to do?
Can I get a little remembering magic in my head here?
Yes.
So the innkeeper that we talked to, that we seemed to
Venman.
what was her name?
Venman.
The
Venman.
gnome.
We seemed to trust her, and didn't we already
Implicitly.
implicitly? But we trusted her, or because I remember sharing some notes that we saw from the
The tower.
Thank you. And did she kind of tell us to keep things like quiet, not tell too many people about what we had found? Like, I'm trying to like wrap up that conversation, that interaction in my head, I guess, in broad brushstrokes, like, or whatever.
Hold on a second. I'm consulting my own notes.
I'm looking too.
I was trying to find
I
it, but I couldn't.
believe what she said was that
You talked about not trusting the council or something like that.
I don't trust the council.
I remember.
she said that I believe that because I'm trying to remember too, but I believe what she would have said was something along the lines of that it would probably be better to keep things quiet because there may be people around who were untrustworthy. She didn't say anything more specific than that.
Okay, so I guess what I was just looking for was backing up the not sharing the book thing. Like because I was like, wait a minute, am I being too paranoid or whatnot? That's kind of Okay. Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to
No problem.
nudge there.
What are you guys doing?
Looking trustworthy.
We need to find Ulrich.
Yes, who's the captain of? Who's the mayor?
The captain of the mayor.
He's the governor.
Mayor,
The governor.
Mayor, captain, governor. All right.
Man.
Mayor of the guard.
Mayor Captain Government.
Yeah, so going back up, you're recognized by the guards at the gate, who kind of direct you inside, and given it a couple of minutes, you are then led by one of the guards kind of deeper into the barracks and are in fact led to an office. And inside, you do find Ulrich, who is kind of in the middle of going through kind of some sheets of paper. It looks like reports of some kind. And Ulrich himself is kind of a little bit on the younger side, human. Kind of has very, very dark skin and very neatly kept dreads. Currently dressed in armor. You can see that there is a glaive as well that he has with him that you've seen him kind of carrying about with him as well, that is kind of set off to the side at the moment. He looks up as you come in. Says, sit down.
I sit.
I sit as politely as I can on the table.
You had news for me?
We found a tiefling deep in the forest.
All right.
He summoned a chimera, and then we killed it.
Congratulations. Tofi, what is happening to your face?
Sophie, remember, neutral, resting face. Rest, sleeping. Yes. Yes.
The tiefling was then grabbed by the forest. The forest was a vengeful thing. I would like to burn the forest down, but I will hold off.
Don't do that.
Vengeance begets vengeance. Begets more vengeance.
And then you get begot.
very,
You're
very
going to get
wise.
besmacked if you're not careful.
All right. So did you manage to get anything from the tiefling before the forest exacted its leafy vengeance?
We did. We got this journal. It's really boring. You're welcome for a read, or I can sum it up for you.
I would like to see it.
Beth, are you handing him the note? Or are you handing him the journal?
What are you handing to him?
The journal. That's Pentheus got it.
Expressly talked about not hitting for the journal. But you do what you want. Edom is just sitting there squirming.
If Penthea has the journal, then I wouldn't be doing that anyway. But if I have the journal, so you guys decide.
Thea has the journal
gave
and
it to you-
Edom
I
and
gave it
you
to you to
talk
read.
specifically about.
I also feel weird retconning it because you said you were gonna do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fine.
I hand him over the journal.
Expressly talked
Okay.
about.
You can see him kind of like, you see him flip it open and look at it. You can just like immediately see his eyes glaze over, and he shuts it again. He sets it off to the side. And he says, "Oh, we can have our arcanist take a look at it, but that at least is not a total loss."
I would hand it back to us. We're going to be needing it for further investigation.
Okay. And he kind of like pulls it back to the center of his desk, and then like kind of leans his elbows on it.
Drox leans forward and leans his elbows on it too, just so we're real close.
They're just nose to nose.
The nose.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Ulrich doesn't seem particularly phased by this.
Neither does Drox.
And just like staring deep into your eyes, Drox.
Has anybody ever told you that you have the most fabulous eyes?
Occasionally, but I always appreciate the compliment.
You're welcome.
So.
Coffee?
he kind of like you see him consider for a moment and be like, I'm on duty. Maybe later. Look. Why don't we have a nice chat and get ourselves all on the same page? And
I
then-
agree.
Great. So last night at the council meeting, your satyr friend said something about prophecies and ancient maps.
Yes. The Tofmeister.
Right.
Nosferatu.
Tofsferatu.
Wait. Toastradamus. Sorry, I got mixed up with Nosferatu and Nostradamus.
They're both great. They're both great options.
And you can understand why I might be concerned, as current governor of this city, that there seems to be a lot of blood magic and planar manipulation happening underneath it. You know what makes me even more nervous than blood magic and planar manipulation?
Is it large crowds and pretty women?
Pretty women do not make me nervous. No. But prophecies do.
Why?
Why would you would think they would make you less nervous, because you wouldn't have to worry about what's going to happen. It's just going to happen.
When the gods drop prophecies in your lap, that is not the sort of thing that happens. This is the sort of thing that has calm after effects. When the gods are involved, it makes it cosmic. I'm responsible for the people of this city. It's my job to make sure that they stay safe. I understand, and I have gotten caught up, not if... I haven't gotten caught up in any prophecies, but I know what it's... I've gotten up to a few things in my time. I'm not going to... I don't think that any of you mean the city any harm. And I'm sure that you have your own things that you are concerned about as well. But if there's something coming that has its sights set on this city, I need to know.
That is perfectly valid.
Do you... I mean, what kind of prophecies have you heard of in the past? Have any of them involved somebody named Laura Lee or Istis?
He seems kind of frown a little bit and says, the name Lorelei doesn't mean anything to me, but I mean, Istis is the goddess of fate. There've been, I mean, history isn't exactly my strongest, my strong suit. I mostly, I like trees. But I mean, there's been various prophecies. One of the original elven chieftains who formed the concord between humanity and the elves when Ornthos, in the very earliest days of Ornthos, was said to have been an envoy for the gods, that she had a divine writ that she was following. And it is to that, I'm not sure how much stock I put in it. But there's, if you go back to more ancient times, there are those that think that some of the Dragonborn, the earliest Dragonborn who established Tirados, were thought to have been working under the orders of Corellon himself when they established the country, that it was a gift from him, the original cities, as a, I don't know, I think they put it as a gift from the god in recompense for what they had lost. But so if you want to go back scrolling through legend and history, then there's plenty of prophecies, but I can't say that I have personal experience with them. Most people don't.
What if we did?
Oh, and I would have to say that I'm very sorry.
And people and prophecies need tools, don't they?
That they do.
So, if you could, give us this book back. Because this is very new. And we want to understand what our fate is before us.
Do you know what the contents of this prophecy is, or just that it exists?
We know.
Not a yes or no question, Tofi.
Well, we know the answer is yes to both.
And you can see him kind of like toys with like kind of just like the edge of the binding of the journal. Will you tell me what it is?
What if I show you the markings that we all got instead?
He kind of examines Tofi's marking, and are the rest of you going to show yours as well?
I will show mine.
I'll pull up my sleeve all the way up to my shoulder because my marking is on my bicep.
He examines all of them and then nods and then says, I will give this to you if I have your solemn word that if you find out something that's going to affect my city, you tell me about it.
I wish no harm to your city. So,
I'm quite happy to tell you about it.
Okay. I'm not going to stop you.
He turns towards you expectantly.
No, I mean, I'm quite happy to tell you if we find out something regarding.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
We're all hanging on the edge of our seat.
I don't understand. Absolutely.
I didn't yet have anything to share.
Not the
Sorry.
floor.
Just where you were going to get coffee or whatever.
I just like realized this as you were all looking at me for like.
Yeah, we wish no harm to anyone. So, you know, we brought back the moon without even knowing this is what was going to come. And it might have been a product of doing that action.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
One, two.
17. He takes a moment, kind of thinks about it, nods slowly, and says, "Give me half an hour with this. Our Arcanist is just downstairs. I just wanted to have a quick glance at it, and then it's all yours."
Okay.
And with that, he kind of calls out, and guard comes in, and he says, "Would you mind grabbing Zala and Snack from downstairs? I think they're in the mess." And the guy goes out, and you can hear him kind of clumping down the stairs. And then, are you guys doing anything specifically right now?
Does he have like a candy dish we can root through?
It's all hard candy. And probably 5 to 10 minutes later, the familiar form of this, the Goliath captain of the guard, and right next to her, a figure that I believe only Drox met before, but this kind of very tiny little goblin woman with kind of gray hair that's drawn back in this very severe looking bun, who's dressed in like layers of like a kind of glimmering shawls, just like all kind of pinned up and very kind of like starched in that way. Little glasses perched at the end of her nose, kind of shuffles in after, and says, "Well, give me the book. Give me," and you can just see her just like reaching up her hands, and Ulrich kind of turns and hands her down the book, and she just kind of like plops herself down right on the floor, flips it open, and starts reading through kind of at high speeds.
If there's like a glass of water or something like that on the table, I think Penthea is nervously manipulating the water in that with her shape water cantrip, just like as like a nervous tick, like just like making it like whirlpool and circle and, you know, waves and things like that, just like anxiously doing that.
The only one in there is the one that's like right by Ulrich's elbow, and for a while he doesn't notice, and then you can see the moment when he like double takes at it.
Sorry.
Where's my glass of water flushing?
She's kind of, it's fine. Neat trick.
Just a nervous tick.
But she spends about 15 minutes flipping through it, and you can see she has like a little notebook out, and she's kind of taking rapid fire notes, and then she flips it closed and just like holds it up with one hand, and Zala takes it and hands it back to Ulrich, and then Ulrich hands it to you, Penthea, and he says, "There you go."
When I open it, is the map still in the back?
Yes, it doesn't seem like she it looks like she was specifically just like flipping through, looking specifically at the notes, not.
I am just suspicious of people stealing things. Anyway, okay. Did you glean anything from that?
It filled in some gaps.
What are the gaps?
Well, I mean, we went down. We spent most of today down looking at the pillar down there and just kind of sorting through it. Interesting. Enough to know that I think there's at least 2 others of these things, maybe 3. And
Do you know why the pillar looked like that?
Well, I mean, there's certain arcane resonances in the way that things are shaped and the things that they're made out of. Makes the magic flow better, amplifies it sometimes. A lot of amplification in this one. Which, I mean, says to me, especially, and she kind of taps one of the lines in her own notebook. And she's, I mean, if they were trying to pull something big from the Shadowfell into over here, then you'd need to amplify quite a bit. Things don't like to move between planes. It's not the way things are supposed to work.
Do you think, when you say big, do you mean big like a human big? Do you mean big like a tree big? Be like a city
big like a city big.
Big like a city big.
Trying to bring a city over here?
I mean, I don't know whether it's a city or, but I mean, you gotta understand something that big, and they have 2 or 3 other of these. That's a tremendous amount of magical power, especially considering the amount of blood that got poured into this one.
Where are the other ones?
I'm not sure.
How do you know about them?
There's ways about the way that resonances and ley lines and that sort of thing. You can tell that this is a part of something. It's not the whole.
Can you direct us in maybe a direction that one of the other ones would be in?
Yeah, sure. If you give me a couple of weeks. I mean, I gotta reverse. She just kind of like smacks her nose. I gotta reverse engineer this whole thing. There's fucking blood magic underneath the city. And do you think I can just pull out of my ass where the other ones are?
I don't know. You seem like you know something about this.
I know many things about many things,
including resonances.
Sure.
Well, let me know if you think you know where one of them might be. Because I'm curious.
Sure. But like I said, I mean, there's a lot of data to sort through here.
What's her name? Oh, what's your name?
Snack.
Snack?
Tovi looks visibly crestfallen.
I'll bring snack. Oh, there's no snacks?
There is a snack.
Oh, right! My memory's not great. Okay.
Okay. So, in this, as it was kind of lull in conversation, you do hear a knock at the door. And then a soldier kind of pokes their head in and says, "Sir, I'm pretty sure the envoy from Drathos is here. I am, like, very, very confident that the envoy from Drathos is here." And you can see, or kind of smiles a little bit, and he says, I'll come down. And he kind of edges his way past all of you and heads out.
I think we're okay to go, right?
Zola just kind of nods.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. We'll be going now. We go. Right?
Heading out and down the stairs through the barracks. And as you step outside, you see that a crowd has gathered. And within moments, you realize why, as suddenly a shadow falls across the sun. And looking up, you see a huge draconic shape that just like kind of swoops across the sun, and then you can see it bank and then swoop downwards. And then as it comes closer and closer, you see it's this large draconic creature. It swoops in and then comes in for a smooth landing just outside the gates. And now that it's on the ground, you can see it's this large creature with kind of slate gray scales. You can see that has what looks like a nasty looking gleaming black stinger at the end of its tail. And it also has a saddle on its back where a figure is currently dismounting. And you can see Ulrich
already heading out the gates down towards it.
Say what color the dragon was.
The creature is kind of a slate gray.
I'll grip Pynthia's shoulder and I'll go, "Is that a dragon?"
Think so. I've never seen one.
Me neither. Do they all have saddles on them?
Oh no. Oh, I mean, well, again, I've never seen one, but I can't imagine that all of them do. This is kind of unusual, that I think.
Okay.
Well, one thing that you guys would be aware of, which I bring up mostly because it is a different from D&D standard that is unique to this world, dragons are what people generally can refer to as dragons. While they look and are as strong as kind of bog standard D&D dragons, they are also known universally as being feral and animalistic. So it's not like this is not a world where dragons are people.
Okay.
Fundamentally evil.
Gotcha.
Can I pet that dragon?
Can I pet that dragon?
You can see that the figure has now dismounted fully and is walking towards Alric, kind of pulling off a helmet as it goes. You can see that close enough to tell that they seem to be dragonborn.
Oh.
And walking forward, kind of greets Alric with a little nod of his head. And they seem to be kind of standing together, speaking. And then, like, you can see Alric kind of like glance behind him, and then he just like kind of raises his voice and he says, "Clear off, the rest of you. I know you've got things to be doing." And the crowd kind of begins to disperse. So, what are you guys up to?
Is the dragon attended to? It's just
It's
sort of there?
it's just standing there. You can tell it's like kind of it's sat down now. It seems to be like kind of chewing on one of its like kind of large gleaming claws, and then kind of like reaches around and kind of like snuffles with its snout, kind of at where the girth belt of the saddle goes around its stomach. And then kind of like arches its neck a little bit, flares its wings out, and you see like there's this kind of like burst of wind that Auric kind of like blinks against and like startles back a little bit, but the dragonborn seems entirely unmoved by, and then it just kind of like flops down with like this kind of audible like, and kind of puts its head down.
Because the dragon probably weighs like half of a ton.
It is not a small creature.
The dragonborn too.
I want to go over to it.
Okay. So going, making your way around. It is a large creature. You can see that it does have like this kind of black stinger on it. You can see that it does look like there's leather kind of like wrapped around it. As well, there's armor on this creature. There's kind of a lightweight saddle that has saddlebags attached to it. And coming up closer now, you can see the dragonborn has kind of like very glossy black scales and these kind of like acid green eyes, dressed in leather armor that kind of has what looks like strands of copper woven through it, and has like various insignia kind of down the arm and across the chest as well. Kind of has her arms crossed across her chest as she's speaking with Ulrich, and she does, if you're trying to approach the wyvern, she does like kind of like eye you as you go past.
The wyvern?
Yes.
The wyvern eyes me?
The dragonborn eyes you.
I don't care about the dragonborn.
Okay, but you're heading towards the wyvern.
Somebody comes with a cool dog. I don't care about the person.
As you begin to approach the wyvern, it kind of slots open one milky white eye, and you see it kind of like one lip kind of like part of the lip kind of like curls up, kind of revealing these very long white fangs.
I do the same.
Are your teeth long and white too?
No, neither. Not intimidatingly, I just think I'm communicating.
What are you, how close are you getting? What are you doing?
I want to pet the dragon.
Okay. As soon as you like get kind of like past where the dragonborn is and seem like intent on going towards the wyvern, she kind of she's like, what? Hold on a second. Where are you going? Okay, yeah, Nika will take a hand off if you're not careful with her.
Why would I be not careful with her?
Don't touch the wyvern.
I think I'll let the wyvern decide.
The closer you get, as you kind of like get closer to the wyvern, you do hear this kind of like low growl coming from it, and the dragonborn like you can hear just go, just give me a second, and comes up and like catches you by the arm and says, look, I don't know who you are, but this
I don't know who you are either. I'm Tofi.
Laurel, the wyvern is not a toy. The wyvern is
right. It's like an animal, you know.
Yes, it's
like
a large, very dangerous
like me.
Animal trained for war.
Everything's large and dangerous and trained for war these days. Listen, I just want to say hello. It doesn't have any friends. You had somebody here to meet. It doesn't.
I suppose you're technically correct.
I am a lot of the time.
But again, I don't want to be responsible for you getting torn in half.
Well, no, that would be the wyvern's fault.
You can see her kind of like looking helplessly back at all. She's like, look, just get away from the wyvern.
But what if it wants to play?
If it wants to play, you don't want to play.
I want to play.
Oh my god, I have so many other things to be doing. Look, and she comes up and you see.
I'll take care of it. You can go do your stuff. I'll keep it company. You don't even have to pay me.
She kind of comes up and you do see the wyvern kind of like arch its neck a little bit, and she reaches up a hand and there's a pause, and then it kind of like puts its head down, like lets her lay a hand on its nose, and she says, okay, come, you can pet the wyvern briefly.
I go and hug it.
Make an animal handling check.
Oh. Whoa.
Okay.
Is launched into the air.
It's almost a one.
You dart past her and you wrap your arms around the wyvern's neck, and you can see her have this brief moment of just like sheer, oh god, I'm about to cause an international incident panic, and then the wyvern just like, it pauses for a moment, and then its head kind of snakes around, and its nose just bumps you on the side. Okay, I have underestimated you.
Right,
Most
I get that a
people
lot
do.
too.
Tofi, you said?
Oh, me. Yes.
It's a pleasure.
Right.
Laurel Aodia. It's
We're allowed to, yeah.
it's a pleasure.
Right.
I'll overlook that.
I'll keep
A
good.
little bit of cultural insensitivity.
I'll keep good track of your dragon.
Not a dragon. And turns back towards Ulrich, who's just kind of been watching this.
I will take my leather ball out with it and play with the dragon.
Okay. It does. It savages the ball.
Throwing it against the side of its mouth. And stuff.
Yeah. But it bats around at it. And eventually, like you can see, it does eventually just like. It's a large animal with very sharp claws and fangs, and it does destroy the ball.
It's fine. I'll use the mannequin head that I took too. We can have lots of things to play with.
Oh my god!
I have lots of vaguely round things. Okay, so while Tofi's making friends with the wyvern, what are the
Cleaning
rest
the
of you guys up
inventory
to?
out, guys.
I'm watching.
Can't have my stool though.
I am trying to look responsible, as usual. Thinking about things I could say, not saying any of them. but mostly watching Tofi.
Drox and Penthea?
I asked Rox, do you, not like privately, just like directing question at, do you think we should ask her about the college and that tower?
It certainly couldn't hurt. But I guess it could hurt. There's always bad things that can happen. But go ahead.
Is she just like there to talk to? Would I be like interrupting her?
When she thought that Tofi was going to get torn in half by her wyvern, she stepped away, but now that that has been resolved, she is back to talking with Alric.
I think if there is a natural pause in the conversation, like could probably be like waiting for them to stop talking, I guess, before inserting myself in over to talk to her.
Yeah, they do seem to be talking quite seriously. You do see it's this kind of like quick back and forth conversation, and then she reaches into a pouch that seems to be quite like kind of like attached to like her side and kind of like tucked up underneath her arm, and she pulls out what seems to be a rolled scroll with a kind of fairly substantial official looking seal on it, and it's not like it looks like several sheets of paper that have been all kind of rolled up together, and she hands that over to him, and he nods, and then they kind of exchange a few more words, and he says kind of like steps back for a moment and calls out you, and kind of calls over one of the guards from the gate, saying, let's find some place where we can bed down the wyvern for the night, and Laura's been flying all night. I'm sure that she needs could use some rest herself, so clear out one of the barracks for her as well. And you can see the guy kind of like scamper off, and he nods like, read this and I'll let you know. And she nods and kind of like stands to attention a little bit, and he seems to head back into the barracks.
Okay, so after he leaves, I feel like I've been doing that kind of like like when you're at a party hovering thing, but like try not to. Oh, is this the? Is this? Yeah. And I go over and do like a. Yeah, she'd be a curtsier. She'd kind of do a little like polite little, nod and curtsy or whatnot. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
And she as you come up, she kind of gives you kind of a formal nod in return. She says, yes, I suppose. What can I help you with?
My name is Penthea Winifred. Nice to meet you. My friend is currently hugging your wyvern.
That she is.
Mm-hmm. Have you noticed anything odd happening at the college?
Well, it almost got blown up last night, so yes.
Oh. Why did it almost get blown up last night?
Oh, that I mean, and she kind of like looks over. Aside from being wyvern hugger friend, who are you exactly?
Oh, I'm just a part of a party that helped like bring the moon back. I don't know if the moon disappeared for you last night, but it disappeared here or 2 nights ago. Anyway, the moon just recently disappeared. And I think we prevented this city from blowing up. So, just didn't know if I was just looking for connections.
You see a look of surprise go across her face. Roll me a persuasion check.
Just kidding. I was gonna say my cat pops out of my bag with the biggest like eyes, being like, "Please." That's a 20.
You see this look of surprise across her face, and she says, "Well, then, in that case, I think we could have used you. in Drathos. Yes, there was strange magic suffusing the city all night. Moon was gone. Strange constellations in the sky. Shadowy creatures in the streets. And I mean, I have to be honest, not running on a ton of sleep right now. The army was mostly able to contain the creatures, but there were various arcanists that kind of all came to one of the schools trying to figure out what exactly it was that was going on when they began to notice that there were rifts opening up across the city. And just after about an hour past midnight, they realized that these effects were centralized in the mountains near the Dervia, and then there was an explosion. We're still collecting information ourselves, but according to eyewitness reports, part of the mountains behind the Dervia exploded in this kind of white light, and I mean, the rock slide that happened after that decimated the surrounding neighborhood. The only reason the Dervia itself wasn't taken out wholesale is that there were so many arcanists inside, they were able to erect a barrier. But it's... By the time that I left to come here, the death count was almost 300, and I don't think it's done rising.
So it's still going?
Well, no, but we're still picking through the wreckage. I left this morning, and they had found 300 people by then, and it had only happened, like, I don't know, 6 hours before. The neighborhood around the Dervia was highly populated. It was mostly residential.
Was there... So after the explosion, did it seem to calm down, or did the moon come back? Is your moon back?
Yes, whatever that explosion was, it seemed to break whatever the effect was. Although like I said, I have the information that was given to me that was necessary to request aid of Ingerna, but I think that what I heard, down the grapevine in the rumor mill before I left, was that it sounds like there may still be rifts open in the city.
That's not good.
No.
Clearly.
Many things about this situation are bad.
Well, I should let you get some rest. I'm very sorry to hear this.
Me too. It's been a long time since something quite this bloody has happened in Jothos.
When was the last time?
I don't know, the last 4 probably.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, before you go, do you know of any...
It pops off my shoulder.
Yeah, I've been listening this whole time, and I'm just not joining the conversation because I've just been listening. Do you know if there's any kind of tower underground in your city? Have you heard of Pinion? Or anything like that?
I mean, Pinion is a verb that means to contain. And as far as towers under the city, I mean, Drathos is an old city. There's plenty of ruins underneath it, but I don't specifically know of any towers.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. And with that, she kind of turns, and you can see the soldiers coming back from the barracks, and she kind of clicks her tongue, and regretfully, Nika kind of like stands up and very gently shakes off Tofi, and then just kind of like butts Tofi in the side with her nose, and then Laurel kind of heads, follows the soldier in, Wyvern in tow. So what are you guys up to?
Going in a 2 direction, I see.
She is going up. Up 2.
We,
It happened.
perhaps we should go to the next location.
The
Yeah,
city?
I relay what she said, that there's still rifts happening there.
We're pretty good about stopping the rifts, I think. We did it all of the times we tried.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% success rate.
It is.
Hold on.
It's true.
Yes, the math checks out.
I'm also curious. You remember how Snack mentioned that there's other pillars? Or there's other ley lines? The Arcanist we just talked to.
Yes. And I think we also found that out earlier. Drathos, Kano, Laura, Silverkeep, and Ingirna, where we are now. Because we found that out from the books in that other place.
Gotcha. So I'm curious if I think that
Kano Laura is the secret city, correct? The city of Shar, like the one that's kind of hidden, like that hasn't. It's like was mapped on very old maps, but not on current maps.
not recently at all. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. I mean,
Do we?
Yeah.
Did it seem like we know? Or, right, I'm like starting to like fall asleep where I'm sitting because I'm the
enraptured is what.
and I am. This music is it has me in the mood and also like
Feel calm.
yeah, calm is the word I'm looking for. Did it seem like people around here know about Kainalura? Or is that like something we haven't heard of other than on this map, that kind of thing? Or kind of like is it gone from history kind of thing? Or
I don't believe you guys have really investigated that yet.
okay, I didn't think that we had an answer for that. Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, we could just go there.
We could go there. We could also go to Drathos.
Those are two very. I think those are two really good options, and I don't really know which one I want more right now.
I feel like going to
one
Drathos will only give us more context for Kainalura, and I feel like if we go to Kainalura, we will be thrown into something that we don't understand.
Sounds great.
But
So
we
which
could,
one
but we
is
could
more
prevent
appealing?
more destruction if we go there.
That's true.
One is cleanup and investigation, and then the other is because is Moran going to stay there in Drathos, or is he going to move on? The other option is to go to Drathos and then go to Silverkeep, because Drathos is on the way down to Silverkeep.
Right. So if what's his name? Requiem was still here, then that means that unless he was planning on teleporting quite a chunk of miles, that means that Moran is not expecting him yet. So it's not like we missed a deadline, it's like he's waiting for Requiem.
Assuming he knows he's got mail.
That's true.
Well, I don't know. I think we should go the place that he least expects us to be.
Moran?
Yes. Or we could go get dragons.
Well, Moran does know about Kainalura, right? That is something that we can be relatively sure about. We can infer that.
You found maps that had Kainalura marked on them in the tower where you know Moran was.
Okay. So he does know about Kainalura.
Because they were probably his notes, or
I mean,
probably, yeah.
We should maybe look for the people that it was writing about. Those 4 people.
Well, the other thing is that the runes that we saw, the prophecy we saw, the guardians of Shar City remade, the saviors of Kainalura reborn. That's us.
I don't think so.
I'm not ready to unpack that yet.
I've
Star
only been born
and
once.
ocean, elixir and weave. That's us. I'm sorry, Pax, you didn't get one because you didn't bleed. It's okay.
I'm just
sure if
kind of
you
I'm just kind of along for the ride.
Oh, I forgot you were here again.
I'm very quiet.
You are. Something about the
mask
just
hides all
blends
the
in with
breathing.
scenery. I mean,
It muffles it.
are you just gonna follow us around forever, or do you like want to go home at some point? We can kind of
I'm-
try to slip you back into the Shadowfell.
I would like to go home.
All right, let's go do that. Wasn't there a portal to the Shadowfell down in that place?
Yeah, you closed that.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe we should open another one.
Well, there
Wasn't-
already are some in Drathos.
Do you know how to make a portal?
No,
No.
you were asking.
I mean, it just takes some blood and stuff. I mean, don't we
I think-
have a
I-
thing? We have
I
a thing
think
that
it's
tells
more-
us how to. We
I think
have
it's more
all
complicated than that.
all the recipes. I mean, if those dullards could do it, I mean,
Those
I could probably figure it
those
out.
dullards almost blew up the city.
Right,
Yeah,
but we
it
don't have to
came
do
with
it in
great
the city.
cost.
We
I
can
don't-
go somewhere like a forest and try to do it.
On very specific forest. I mean, I'd like to go home, but I don't want to put anybody out.
Well, one of the places we're going seems to have rifts to the Shadowfell open still.
We can just push you into one of them.
Yeah.
Or maybe we could come with us and you could show us the Shadowfell. I've never been there. I hear it's dark,
It is,
shadowy.
but I mean, it's beautiful if you know where to look.
I mean, I've done enough falling here. I could go to the Shadowfell and fell
Fall
there.
there.
Yeah.
I kind of want to stay in the plane where my mom's are. I don't really want to go there. So
I mean, you gotta break free sometime, right?
no, I love them.
Well, but just because you're in the Shadowfell doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. Unless you
No.
specifically were like, when I go to the Shadowfell, it's because I don't love you anymore.
It just means that I couldn't pop home to see them as easily as all.
I mean, it would take a long time for you to get there now. What's a little bit more Shadowfell walking?
Anyway, so
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
I mean, it seems like things that are going to happen in that other city have already happened. And I'm not keen on, showing up after for people to say, oh, you missed it. I want to be there when it happens so I can stop it or start it.
here's the small catch though, because I do want to. I agree with the prevention more than the cleanup, but it was us that was able to close things. We are both lock and key.
So we could open
That's
when you're
part
saying.
of the prophecy. Well, we could close it in Drathos.
I mean, does it take all of us? Maybe one of us could go to each of these places and we draw straws to see who the owl goes with.
I have a name.
I don't remember.
Also, not an owl.
Not a girl. Like Janet from The Good Place.
Not a robot.
Not a robot.
Not a robot. Right? Like, I don't know. I think both are good ideas. I just don't.
I mean, it's just our blood, right? We could send a bunch of our blood there.
Nothing has ever gone wrong in D&D by just giving away your blood to people. Just here's a vial of my blood.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I think I'm a little apprehensive about going to Canalura just because it seems like no one really understands what it is anymore.
isn't
Because
that
it's
why it's amazing to go there?
it is, but I am the prospect of knowing exactly what to do in Drathos and having a chore and a task to complete is extremely appealing.
What is our chore task in Drathos?
To patch things up and also seal these portals in the Shadowfell. We've also been
Oh.
asked to go there and help with the relief effort, right?
When did that happen?
I'm pretty sure this happened yesterday.
I mean, I'm all for helping people and everything, but that sounds like a lot of work. I mean, how are we supposed to fix a city?
We did it. We did it once already. We could do it again.
But that was more of an accidental thing.
But I am interested in going to see King Allura.
Based on the book, you know, and I think trying to, because I read some and understood a little bit, and asking Drox some pointed questions or whatnot. Can we puzzle together, like, from what this book is, can the rift, how does the rift get closed? Like, so this thing gets blown up, like, how does it, like, was it explicit in this book, or what they, or what the person who wrote it thought, what Moran wrote? Yeah, I'm trying to get at, is it us that closes it? Like, and I know that I'm not probably going to get a yes or no answer, but
roll me an Arcana check.
okay.
Let's see if we can get you something other than a 9.
Can Drox roll with me? Because I'm kind of, he understood the book better too.
If you and Drox would like to try to puzzle, put your heads together and puzzle over this.
Yeah. I can help if you want.
20. Oh, hey, we're
Dang.
we're like pulled out a chalkboard and
I've
trapped in
eaten
a
2 of
maze.
the
Hold
pieces
on.
of chalk.
Or somebody shoot me. Either one.
mapping it out.
So, you two kind of put your heads together and kind of flip the notes back open and start sorting through it again. And the impression that you come away with from these notes is that Moran, through these notes, he considered this a one-off thing, is the impression that you get. That you're not 100%, because it's, again, these were personal notes that he was making, and so he doesn't have to explain things to himself. So piecing together from it, you get the sense that in his mind, you power these things up. They pull the thing that he wants, whatever that is, the target, from the Shadowfell to the material plane, and he didn't seem to think about it past that. That it was just a one
Typical
and done
wizard.
Yeah, one and done. It happens. It's done.
Then I'll be fine.
Yeah. We power it up. It does its thing. That's it. That's the end of it.
Okay.
Why did he want the city to come through? What do you do with a city? My parents had a little patch of mushrooms in the Feywild that they were the lords over, and we need to do with that. But that is a lot smaller than a whole city. Why would you want a whole city? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, maybe a lot of people, you gotta have somewhere for them to live. Or...
But where are you getting the people from?
tourism. Or...
Yeah, it's a real boost the economy of this world. We're gonna bring.
I want to make an
city.
economy. I will make a bubble economy all my own. It will literally be in a bubble.
I mean, if the city that they want to transport is already somewhere, we could go to that city.
What? One more time, Tofi.
So there is a city that is going to be moved, which means the city is already a place that is the city. And if we go there, we can be like, oh, this is it. And then, like, look around and be like, oh, that's why I would want it. Maybe it's filled with pineapple.
That's true. Didn't we see the city when we were looking through the Shadowfell in the tower?
Right. No, I didn't.
Am I remembering this wrong?
At one point, you did look through a rift into the Shadowfell, and
the
you
cat
yeeted a weasel through it.
It was the weasel! Yes!
Poor Finnegan.
What did Finnegan see?
Finnegan saw some sort of abandoned city.
Doom and
Did you see
despair.
anything other than abandonment? That
You will
looked.
have to wait for Finnegan to check his notes. Just a
He takes
second.
his little weasel notebook.
What's that? Finnegan hears something. Finnegan peeks out of his sleeve.
Where was that?
Finnegan, you sound awful.
There it is. Finnegan has a lot of notes.
Finnegan, why does this notebook say campaign notes?
Finnegan, why do you have so many?
Finnegan.
Finnegan saw an abandoned city, including the front of a large cathedral-like structure built from dark stone. Through its open doors, glimpses of vibrantly colored light can be seen. That is what Finnegan saw.
Did Pinthea describe the dream that she saw to Edom? Or the vision. I don't think it was a dream. It was when you touched. You went inside the pillar.
You went. Oh, right. I think I told everybody.
Oh, we both were in the pillar with the woman, and then you touched the woman's body.
Yeah.
And then you saw.
Her face. Don't make it sound gross.
Sorry, I meant like her rest.
Felt up the dead cleric.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
I think we are threshold keepers, both lock and key. Open the doors and let the souls fly free.
Just don't try to use your pee.
Been there, done that.
Verse 2.
Second verse, not the same as the first.
The poor weasel, let him be.
I say we roll a coin and then we go to wherever the coin tells us to go.
Tuffy, is this how you live your life?
Yes.
I have this 8-sided die that I roll every time I need to go in a new direction.
Oh, I usually
It's in
don't
my
even
pocket.
do it as regimented as that. I just kind of start going somewhere. Sometimes it's helpful to spin around until you fall over, and then when you get up, you go somewhere.
Wow.
We can all try it if you'd like.
That does sound like an experience.
Here. I will take Edom and then just start spinning around.
With one hand, you just take his body and just keep like, spinning.
And I will spin for 1d100 revolutions.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Excellent.
I would like to spin my weasel in order to
We
have
spin
him ascend.
46 times, and then I go, fly as fast as you can, and I let go. And then whatever direction Edom flies is the direction that we're gonna go.
I try to fly. Oh, I try to fly.
I hate to break this to you, but this is a great way to throw up.
I would like
Right,
to spin
that's
my.
all part of the
It's part of the
Process.
experience.
Part of the
process.
itinerary.
I would like to spin my weasel so he may ascend to Spinnigan.
It's not
All
in
right.
its final form.
It is at this point edging towards sunset, as you guys have been mulling over journals and discussing your next plans. The sun is setting. You can tell that the guards are kind of moving out on their evening rotations. The wyvern has disappeared to wherever it is that wyverns sleep. And I think that I'm going to end this session here so that you guys can debate your next steps, not on stream.
And I do. Do I roll to see if Edom barfs while he's looking for
I'm gonna
direction?
let that be a character choice.
Okay. He's gonna try his hardest not to barf.
Okay, I
He's
believe
very
in him.
seriously trying to enjoy this. Lack of plans.
So we will end here for tonight. Please tell me what you would like to do before next session so that I
We're
can
going to
have...
Canalore and the Shadowfell.
Not the
But-
Shadowfell. No.
Genuinely,
Why don't we
Yes.
bring a town that's in the material plane to the Shadowfell?
Reverse
Oh,
it.
gosh.
It's just like, you can't sabotage these towns if they're in the Shadowfell now.
Oh
Check and mate, prophecy.
no! Oh no!
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Thank you again to Kevin MacLeod for the music. Tonight we listened to.
They were all very good songs.
Thank you.
Right.
We listened to Soaring. We listened to Thunderbird. We listened to the entire combat playlist, including Five Armies, Falling Defense, Prelude in Action, Final Battle of the Dark Wizards, Clash Defiant, Malicious, Darkling, and Burnt Spirit. You can also catch us if you liked this session. You can catch us for things that are entirely different and not like this at all. On Monday, we have the Chaos Gremlins squad with Casey DMing for the last page. And on Thursday, you can catch us with Lions and Crows, DM'd by Timur, who is not on this stream, but it is a higher level campaign where we are doing something.
We're fighting the other
We
party,
did.
and we finally get to kill
Oh, right.
the
We are fighting.
definitely evil Maggie.
Maggie.
Oh.
So you can catch us there 7:30. This campaign will be back not next week, but the week after. We are switching to an every other week schedule because otherwise I will implode. But you can catch us in 2 weeks at 7:30 here. And until then, Monday and Thursday at 7:30 for the other campaigns. Previous episodes are on YouTube. Twitter is also us, at Roll It Slant. Does anybody else have any announcements? Thank you, Casey.
Edom does not barf.
Edom does not barf.
He's good.
Okay,
Con
that's
save.
resolved.